What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a major move coming into the crypto space. Many coins are about to make some big moves to the upside. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why that big move is coming, present you with a lot of evidence as to why a buying season might be a little bit behind us, but it's not too late to get in on some decent prices. But I'm going to cover 16 coins, not in depth. Don't freak out. It's not going to be an hour-long video. But there are 16 coins right now that, based off of the weekly chart, they are flashing major buy signals, and you do not want to miss them. So make sure you stick around for the entire video. Watch all the way to the end to hear my arguments and reason as to why that big move is coming. And also, what are those 16 coins that you might be holding right now but want to add to your bag that are showing us major weekly buy signals? With that said, before we get into it, smash the like button. And if you enjoy the video, you got to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. But first, let's roll the intro. All right, everybody, let's get into the news part of this whole segment. Before we even take a look at charts, you got to stick with me for the arguments as to why, from a sentiment and news standpoint, we are about to see the crypto space go insane. Go ahead and share my screen right here. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole depth of every single article here, but there's some interesting things happening in the news this morning. Crypto explosion imminent. Are you prepared for the boom? I'm not going to cover some of the coins that they actually reference in this article, but this is actually what this first paragraph, or the majority of the first paragraph, really sets up this video, I think, in a very positive way for what I want to explain to you is going to be happening here. So in the article, it says the cryptocurrency market is experiencing a rare calm. Market watchers report that altcoins are currently at favorable entry points, with prices rising steadily. Enthusiasts and investors are eagerly anticipating the next bull run. Analysis suggests that several altcoins are on the verge of a significant breakout. This period of relative stability might just be the calm before the storm. I'll show you what coins this article is talking about, but I'm going to let you know I don't think a single one of the 16 that I'm going to be talking about are on this list. There's a coin, Cybro, a pre-sale. I'm not, never even heard of that one, but it talks about Wormhole. This is a coin that we've talked a lot about on the channel. It had a very, very impressive week or so earlier this year, but has since kind of dwindled off. But they're predicting they could have a big move there. Say is predicted for a strong move. Ondo, one of the fan favorites, is predicted for a big move. Mantra, which is one of the ones we've been tracking here more recently and talking about the potential moves to the upside based off of a breakout of borderline a bull flag. There are several coins that, again, aren't even going to make my list of top 16 that this article is saying look for big moves. As a whole, guys, the entire crypto space is going to see good upside movement coming. But again, there are 16 coins. I'm going to explain to you why they are better buy signals than maybe other coins out there. But let's get into why is the crypto explosion imminent? Why are coins showing amazing signs of buy signals, and you should be acting on those buy signals and not treating them like fake outs? Well, the first thing that we have to talk about is that next week we are within 1 week away from the ETF for Ethereum going live. This is going to be very important, not just for Ethereum, but other altcoins as well. Given the turmoil and lack of clarity around the launch of the spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds, it feels like the market is not fully pricing in the impacts of ETFs, and that we could easily see gains of 25% plus. Now, that's a pretty low number. I think we're going to see more than that. But this is according to Darius Tabai, the CEO of Order Book Dex Verdicts Protocol and former Merrill Lynch and Credit Suisse trader. And this is what he told the block. Tabai, I don't know if it's Tabai or Tabai, there's a typo in here, one of them, added that if we move upward by Ether is sustained, he expects it to have potential halo effect for altcoins. This would be in contrast to the spot Bitcoin ETF launch, where altcoins really struggled to maintain a bid. Now, before we move forward, what he's referencing is that before the Bitcoin ETF happened in January, we had a very large run up in Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin space. Effectively, what this is saying that we priced in the bullishness of the ETFs a little early and then had a 20% pullback in Bitcoin and a much larger pullback in the rest of the altcoin space. Why did we pull back so dramatically? Because we had priced in that bullishness early. The flip side, though, has happened with Ethereum ETF, where instead of rallying into the launch, we actually had fallen in price and are down pretty significantly from prices just over a month ago. So instead of this being a pricing in the bullishness, we actually have not done that whatsoever and should see positive price action after the ETF goes live. Will there be volatility with a lot of buying and selling and up and down and up and down? Yes, volatility is the only guarantee you have in the crypto space. But when the dust settles and the clouds are gone, which way will price be going, up or down? The answer is to the upside. But that's not the only reason. We got to go into the political realm, which we don't always love to do on the channel, but it's politics seasons, guys. And if you don't think politics affects crypto, you're living under a rock and you're going to miss out on a lot of big gains in the crypto space. Now, there was a big speech last night at the Republican National Convention, but it's not that speech that is catching everyone's attention for why it's going to be so bullish for crypto. But Orange Man, the presumed next president of the United States, reportedly to announce a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Let's get into some details. Again, I'm not going to say his name just because I don't know if Google or YouTube might start shadow banning channels for trying to maybe have election interference or something. So bear with me if I'm not saying names of potential candidates. The former U.S. president and current Republican presidential candidate is rumored to announce Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset at a crypto conference in Nashville later this month. Guys, that's the Bitcoin conference. I will be there. Tishan will be there. You got to come see us. And guess what? Orange Man was going to be there as well speaking, and maybe he's going to be making a major announcement. This is a big distinction. He's not going to necessarily be backing the dollar with Bitcoin, but maybe having it as a strategic reserve asset similar to gold. This was reported from Dennis Porter, the co-founder and CEO of Satoshi Action Fund. Meanwhile, Porter stated that adding Bitcoin as a strategic reserve is a logical move for the U.S. Treasury. Besides, he believes that this could shift the global economic paradigm, urging other nations to secure their own Bitcoin positions. I'm going to talk more about that later because this isn't the only thing. America potentially going big on Bitcoin is not the only major country making moves here recently. It's just the most recent news article that is going to be very bullish for Bitcoin price. A flurry of market experts also agree that such a designation would represent a significant shift in the U.S. financial strategy. They have cited that Bitcoin's decentralized nature would further bolster global acceptance to enhance economic resilience and stability. Additionally, Orange Man has previously voiced strong support for Bitcoin, emphasizing its geopolitical importance. He warned that policies against Bitcoin would benefit the adversaries like China and Russia. It's funny that he mentions those two countries because we're about to talk about their stances and things that they have reportedly been saying here more recently, but I want to make sure I paint this picture correctly. Bitcoin. You might be listening to this video and you might be an American and you might want the United States of America to do very, very well and stay the global powerhouse in the economic world. But there's some of you listening that are not American. And the good news is that Bitcoin is not an American token. It's not a Russian token. It's not a Chinese token. It's not an India token. It's not a European token. Bitcoin is for the people, not for an individual country. However, when we see major countries turning so bullish to it, it can only make you feel extremely confident about that price action continuing to the upside. Because you know what? If these countries end up using Bitcoin as reserves or backing it for trade, you know what they have to do? They have to hold some of it. You know what they have to do to hold some of it? They have to buy it. And they're not going to be buying one Bitcoin here and two Bitcoins there. They're going to be buying thousands of Bitcoins at a time to back or to secure their currencies and make sure their local economies are doing very, very well. When that kind of volume rolls in, the price will go astronomically to the upside, and I believe the crypto space will be not far behind. But let's talk about the two countries that Orange Man's referencing when he says if we don't go pro Bitcoin and pro crypto, we're leaving this power up to them. Well, we are getting a rumor from China. Now, I want to specify this is a rumor. There's actually an article that says that this might not be very likely. But a couple of days ago, back on July 13th, Bitcoin LFG, a reliable X account, said big breaking: China is likely to unban Bitcoin in Q4 2024 reports. Mike Novogratz, one of the leading experts in the space who usually hears this stuff, he doesn't seem to necessarily believe it or disbelieve it. He says that this is true. This is the second time I've heard it in a week. So again, two different people kind of reporting these rumors. It's a huge deal. Anyone have any insight? Now, the question is going to be, and I'm not going to get into the article itself, but recently, in the last couple of years, China has repeatedly banned Bitcoin, meaning it does not allow its citizens to be trading. And I actually don't need to be on the article for this portion. It does not allow their citizens to be trading Bitcoin. However, China still remains one of the larger hubs for Bitcoin mining. The Chinese government has absolutely referenced using it for their own benefits. The real question is can we see the multiple billions of people in China actually start to trade Bitcoin, or is that something where the rumor's off? We have to wait until later this year. The rumor is it should happen closer to quarter 4 or in quarter 4 of 2024. So that is something to keep an eye on, though, that if China were to be about to unban Bitcoin and maybe start using it for their own advantage, you definitely want to see the United States using it themselves. But not only was China the one that Orange Man referenced, he also referenced this country over here, Russia. Putin orders the regulation of crypto as country moles embracing currencies like Bitcoin for international trade. Guys, I know this video is taking a lot longer, but I think it's very important. Stick with me to the very end. Again, 16 coins I'm about to mention that could be about to explode, but these are some of the reasons why. The Russian State Duma is set to deliberate on a bill to regulate digital currencies after President Vladimir Putin highlighted the urgency of regulation for use of both domestically and with other countries. Speaking at a meeting on July 17th, Putin highlighted the necessity for Russia not to miss the moment. It sounds a lot similar to what Orange Man's saying here in the United States with cryptocurrencies, and called on Parliament to work on creating legal framework and regulation in a timely manner, excluding taxations and tariffs. Closing out this article, cryptocurrencies, this is Vladimir Putin talking, by the way. Cryptocurrencies are not monetary units in the usual sense, but are increasingly used in the world as a means of payment in international transactions. Putin told gathered senior government figures, which included Prime Minister Mikhail, I don't know how you say that, Mushtin, and Finance Minister Anton Siluanov. I don't know how you pronounce those things. Don't hold that one against me. At the end of the day, we are seeing 3 world superpowers all saying we've got to get into the Bitcoin game. We got to get into allowing crypto to be a major part of our economies and of our government entities. Why? Because it is the future. If that does not make you bullish, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a lot that can, but I'm going to do my best to tell you about 16 coins. And we're going to kind of go rapid fire here. I'm not doing in-depth TA, but I will in the future, next couple of weeks, be making 2024 price prediction videos for these coins. Some of them I've already done end of 2025, but where could these coins be sitting by the end of 2024? I will be making videos one by one on those coins, but let's get into some of the large ones of what you're going to be seeing rally here. And I'm explaining briefly why they're about to rally. Let's start off with one of the largest coins. And I want to make sure you guys understand, I'm not saying if a coin's not on this list, it doesn't mean it won't rally. But these 16 coins all have something majorly bullish flashing on the weekly chart. And it's not just that they've recently on the weekly chart come down to hit major levels of support, like these lines are suggesting right here. The place that we're looking at right now is actually coming down to our oscillators, where we are seeing major weekly buy signals come into play that are mimicking historical bottom figures on pullbacks during bull markets. And that is that we have recently here on Solana received a green reversal. We have bullish divergence. We have a positive oscillator, and the money flow is curving to the upside. You'll also notice MACD is going up. A recent support level bounced off of the 50 middle line, very much mimics what price action looked like all the way back here, back in November of 2020, when we had a steep correction after a high post Bitcoin's halving, and then you would go on to see the Solana price shoot to the upside. So many similarities here on Solana, but that's only the number one coin flashing major weekly buy signal. Don't miss out. Check out the channel later on, though, when I make my 2024 price predictions for Solana. Next up, Cardano. Very, very similar thing happening here. Yes, we have major levels of support on the weekly chart, but once again, you are seeing several levels on our oscillators. Green reversal, major green momentum. And while the money flow is still negative, it's only a matter of time before that keels over to the upside. Ultimately, once again, this very much is mimicking what bottom positions looked like back in 2019, 2020 areas where our oscillators were flashing buys during the bull market. Cardano is number 2. Like I said, I'm going to start going rapid fire here, but I wanted to point these coins out to you. Let me fix the screen just so you guys can see it. Next up on the list, number 3 is Polkadot. Again, major support on the weekly chart from other indicators, but there we go. Our oscillators flashing bullish, green reversal, green momentum, money flow close to going positive, growing rapid fire. ICP seeing this buy signal here as well. Once again, reversal, money flow, and green momentum in play here. Next up, we have AVAX with the signals here as well. Keep moving on. Matic is showing these same signals on our oscillators. Stacks. I can't scroll fast enough here for you guys, but Stacks showing the same exact indicators here. OP. A lot of people have been talking about OP more recently. There's a lot of things happening. Recently, it lost a major level of support, but now it is actually finding a very bullish formation support level. And once again, buying coming in here on the weekly chart. Here's another one we haven't talked about on the channel for a while, but I needed to mention. It is TIA. TIA flashing that buy signal, but also some major bullish divergence. TIA's pulled back majorly from the high we had back in February, but I think that we could be about to rally even more so. But keep moving on. More of them that we're going to be talking about. Atom flashing the buy on its weekly chart as it hits major support. Arbitrum flashing the buy signal and that bullish divergence. Trying to fix the price action as we go. It always kind of dilutes it here a little bit, guys. Sorry if it seems so small and zoomed in. But buy signal and bullish divergence flashing here for Arbitrum. VeChain doing the exact same thing on that major support, major buy signals flashing. We're almost done here, guys, but I wanted to give you every single coin in case you want to scoop up all of these. Render is next up. We've been talking about Render at this support level now for a while, but getting this weekly flash here this past week, majorly bullish for one of the top AI tokens, one that I think could be the number one AI token. But speaking of number one AI tokens, Near is also on this list of our buy signals coming in on the weekly chart after hitting some support. And our final two, here we go. So FET also in the AI world, but now also known as ASI after bonding with AGIX and Ocean, has flashed a weekly buy signal. And the final coin that I'm looking at in my 16 that are flashing these buy signals and are being paired with a lot of this bullish sentiment is Injective. This is a coin that we've been very bullish on here more recently on the channel, hitting major levels of support. But once again, these weekly buy signals coming into play. You do not want to ignore them. Guys, make sure you are preparing yourself for an epic bull run. Have we had some good price action so far? Absolutely. But the best is yet to come. Make sure you have hit that like button for this video if you did enjoy it. Smash subscribe so you don't miss any of the content that I'm going to be putting out as to telling you where these prices could actually go. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're here with the channel. Shout out if you are looking for a place to be swapping all of these coins. You've got to use Houdini Swap. It's in the link down below. They are a sponsor of the channel, but this is the number one DEX out there, the number one swap. If you prioritize your privacy when you're making your swaps, you've got to be using Houdini Swap. There's over 4,000 tokens that you can trade any coin for any coin. No bridges, no worry of are they under the same blockchain. It is instant and cheap. Literally the cheapest prices possible are found for your swap. Go start using Houdini Swap today. You're not going to regret it. With that said, though, guys, that's all I have for you in this video. I will see you in the next one. Love you guys.